Good on the judge for pointing that out. I think that's a fairly fatal error.
Yeah.
That notice is part of the
I made her read it out.
It's part of the procedure and it's defective in its form. I'm going to go as it's 8:30 and look, I'll just give you something to think about. Yeah.
Sorry, what are you after?
Well, what am I after?
Yeah, because basically I was...
prosecution,
The prosecution's just given me that. They're telling me it was attached to that, and that's what I got on that day, was this. I should have had that supplied with it. That's what I got.
Well, this doesn't mean much, but I mean...
Yeah, well, the whole point is I've only got a summary of facts, and if it doesn't mean much,
what I'm saying, it's not evidence. It's not evidence. They would not go to the judge as evidence of your guilt.
I'm asking to be informed of the cause and nature of the proceedings. The judge started to read out the charge, and she found out that on the charge there is no section or anything. You know, the prosecution's saying that it's on this. There.
Well, that's
right.
No, that's not evidence. So
yeah, but they're saying that's what he's trying to hand it to me today, saying that's the evidence. You should have got it. It's not my fault. It wasn't attached to that.
Through this, she said there's no statutory provision which you are alleged to.
Yeah, there's no regulations or section of anything on that charge sheet. So therefore, and I'm only asking to be informed, fully informed, so I can make a plea.
You should have that.
Yeah, they should, but they don't. And his argument was, well, everybody just pays and doesn't question it.
And that,
well, I do.
That is not...
it's not acceptable.
Notice. That's not evidence either. Oh, well. I don't know
so what do you suggest I do? Because the judge wants to either issue an amicus curiae to help the court, and I said, well, that's no help to me.
No, I'm not going to do that.
So,
I'm not available. I'm sorry.
I'm not asking you to be amicus curiae. That's for them, because you'll be for them.
Would I?
Well, your first
You're telling
duty
me
is...
I'm a corrupt lawyer.
No, your first duty is to the court. Any lawyer, any member of the Bar Association's first member is to the Law Society, not into the court, not to me.
That's your personal view.
No, that's the New Zealand Law Society answering my questions that I've already asked them. So I don't ask questions unless I know the answers first, all right? So the fact that I'm being supplied the cause and nature of the proceedings, Judge Tim Black entered a plea, we deemed a not guilty plea. I'm standing there with the plea of guilty in my hand, ready to sign, given I could be...
Well, my view is that's defective, and that's, you should just insist that the matter proceed today. You're a very forthright, clear-speaking person.
I've studied law for 45 years, I've got Butterworth's Law Dictionary right in there, mate.
You're quite capable of advancing your own case. I don't want to... I've given you some advice.
So the advice is what the policeman supplied me today on the summary of facts, that's not evidence and I should just ignore it.
It shouldn't be taken into the court record as evidence, is my advice to you.
But he's saying he supplied it to me.
It's not your...
But I don't understand that. And they're saying that I needed to speak to someone...
They haven't followed
procedure.
due process and given you a proper legal document containing...
See, I didn't even pick up on this one. I was really just going nuts on the nature and cause and not being fully informed. She seems like a lovely lady. Seems like a very lovely, far better than Tim Black, I tell you. He was screaming, threatening me with contempt and shit just because I asked him, are you practising law from the bench, Your Honour? I mean, it was only a question, but he took offence to it. He didn't like it. They surrounded me and took all my cameras off me last time I was here, mate. Oh, this is a public place.
I'm going to have a cup of coffee, mate. I'll come back up. I'll see how you're getting on. But I'd say stick to your guns.
Yeah.
Go hard. But don't look to seek any sort of amendment or alteration.
It's either amicus curiae, they accept my plea of not guilty, and we go to penalty.
Why can't you defend yourself?
Well, they're saying they need the amicus for the judge to have legal help. That's what she said, she needs to get the amicus for. I says, well, what benefit is that to me? I don't need more people against me.
Yeah, well, that's
and
right.
she's supposed to be impartial, so what
I
does she
agree
need
with
legal advice for?
I agree with that.
So,
But amicus shouldn't be reserved
they don't comprehend it. Or
for
need
people who
translation.
lack capacity. I agree with that. Just be polite.
Try not to be
Take a
cocky and
deep
too
breath
confident.
before you actually say anything.
I did that. The radiator blew up on the way in, so I had a hell of a time just getting here on time, honestly.
Just take your time, slow your delivery
Slow
down,
my roll. Sure.
and stick to your guns.
Thank you very much.
Okay, see, but look at you.
Courtroom 11,
I'm
number
not going
3.
to be appointed as amicus in your case because I've got other things to do.
Don't want that one. Hot potato.
A lot of lawyers like doing it. It's quite a good order for them.
Yeah, I was here with Tony was amicus for another French unit.
Good on the judge for pointing that out. I think that's a fairly fatal error.
Yeah.
That notice is part of
I make her read it out.
It's part of the procedure and it's defective in its form. It's part of the procedure and it's defective in its form. It's part of the procedure and it's defective in its form.
Okay. Thank you. 11.
See you looking around. I'm not trying to make trouble for you.
No.
I'm quite ready to go as a duty lawyer.
I appreciate it.
Okay, mate.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go and tell me your life story.
See you.
What court are you in?
Court 11, I believe it was.
In front of a judge. Well, they're not normally done in front of a judge. JPs and things like that normally.
I think it's just because Judge Black didn't like me last time. He took offence to being asked if he was practising law from the bench. He wanted to have me in front of a judge.
Really?
JAT.
I don't even know.
Well,
I don't even
threatened me
know.
with contempt and detainment and everything because I was asking him questions. Questioning subject matter jurisdiction. He didn't like it. So he started screaming and yelling. It's up on YouTube. Go and watch the video.
I don't know television at home. So
No, do you? Well, you don't need television to watch YouTube. No, you just need a just need a computer.
no, I'm not into electronic stuff. Not into it.
Court of public opinion is a wonderful thing, especially when you have
Oh.
over 500,000 views and 1,300 subscribers. It tends to make a difference.
What would you do? Anyway, that's good. Now look, just tell us what it's about. Because I don't not plead your case, but it's to assist you in defending yourself.
Oh, okay. I asked the judge for the purpose of the name of the cure, and she said it was to help you, help the court.
It's to help the court, not help you.
Yeah, because your duty is first and foremost to the court, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, right to me. Right, so basically I had a whole lot of questions here for the witness if it actually gets to dependent hearing.
What's the charge there now?
It is, well, from what I can read on the bit of paper here, let me just... This one here? Currently, under what section? No section there, is there? Okay, so that's not a legal document because it's not
Well,
stating
it
under
is-
what it's not stating under what section of what act.
Yeah. Well, all that would happen there, Mark, is that when the prosecutor is challenged with it, they will then simply advise the court the section under which it is laid, and they should have done it.
Which they didn't.
Okay, but that doesn't destroy the prosecution. Because all they do is then advise the court under which section of the Transport Act.
Good on the judge for pointing that out. I think that's a fairly fatal error.
Yeah.
That notice is part of
I make her read it out.
It's part of the procedure and it's defective in its form.
Yeah.
Yes, and the judge will understand that.
They can advise the court whatever they like. I'm asking to be informed, fully informed of the nature and cause of the proceedings.
You'll be told that then.
I
If
haven't
that
been
is your
informed.
first point, and it's a valid point, is that you are entitled to be advised of the section,
Informed.
the date, the section. A charging document needs to disclose sufficient for you to understand why you were in court.
That's a legal document, and I'm not legally trained, so I don't understand one word on that document.
Well,
That's what you're here for. You're under Section 24G of the Bill of Rights. Aren't you supposed to translate it for me? Oh, I don't have a right to have a translator?
well, no, you speak English.
Yeah, I know I speak English, but I've also studied legalese for 5 years, and I have many law dictionaries at home.
But
So
I'm just simply saying, it hasn't got the details of the act under which the charge is laid.
Correct.
That's easily fixed by the court then, the prosecutor then advising the court the section and the act is presumably the transcript.
But they failed to file
Yeah,
they failed to follow the rules under the
but that
Criminal
doesn't-
Disclosure Act, have they not?
That doesn't destroy the prosecution.
Well,
all it is a deficiency which if you are perfectly entitled to know the section and the act.
I want to know the nature and cause of these proceedings. I
Well, the
don't
nature of-
understand.
nature-
I don't understand the section of the Act to comprehend it in the first place.
I can tell you, it is simply an allegation that you were driving on the northwestern motorway at a speed exceeding
Being that it's
the 80 km.
being that it's a criminal proceedings, they have to provide evidence.
Yeah, they'll do that. I'm sure
Yeah,
they'll
beyond
do that.
reasonable doubt. Correct.
That's the standard of proof.
Beyond
Yes,
reasonable
but
doubt. Okay, so
once you've gone over that, I would assume you wanting to defend the matter.
well, I can't even enter a plea until I'm fully informed, can I?
Well, your plea is... it's
I didn't enter that plea. Judge Tim
Yeah.
Black did,
Yeah.
against my wishes, intent and direction.
No. You run into the Criminal Procedure Act. A court can, if a person is reluctant
How
or
am I-
doesn't want... Hang on, just...
You're saying I'm under the criminal... I must be allowed to reply back to your statements. Now, if I'm under the Criminal Act, right, where is that evidence?
That is to be brought in court by the witnesses.
Okay.
That's your evidence. Now, look, what happens, and I would assume if you've been in court before, you know something of procedures.
No.
The Criminal Procedure Act
Mm-hmm.
says that a court, if there is a reluctant defendant or it is time that a plea be entered, it goes in as what we call a deemed not guilty. Now, that's an act of Parliament. It's an act of Parliament.
Okay.
And
Where does
so a
Parliament
plea...
derive authority over me? Do they not have to have
Yes.
my vote on an electoral roll for that to matter? Really? So there's no evidence of jurisdiction whatsoever. If I'm not registered as an electoral voter on the electoral roll,
You are
giving
you
the
are
ballot box in New Zealand Parliament
Mark,
energy in the first
Mark, you
place.
are subject to the laws of...
No, I am not. I'm a man. That's simple.
Well,
Right?
That-
Mum made me Mark. This is a legal person they're talking to, not me. I'm well aware of the Interpretations Act 1990, Section 29, where it states a body corporation, so unincorporated body is a
this
person.
has got nothing to do with it.
Well, this is a person.
This is a... Yes, that is... Well...
That's not me.
Are you Mark Donald Eric King?
No, I'm a man. I'm known as Mark Donald Eric, and I'm of the family Keane. But we won't want to talk and argue semantics, do we?
I'm not interested in semantics and things like that. All I can see is this, that you have been summoned to come to court. You've answered the summons.
I came
You have...
my name's on the document. man.
Yeah? Okay. Well, if
And I've asked-
identity is an issue, they've got...
It's not a matter of identity, it's a matter of being fully informed of the cause and nature of proceedings for me to enter a fully informed
Well,
plea, which I haven't been given. So, and the judge went and steamrolled over me and entered deemed not guilty plea. I'm standing there with the guilty plea in my hand, unsigned, wishing to enter it, provided I could be given fully informed nature and cause, and he goes and enters that plea over the top of that. Okay, so isn't that prosecutorial misconduct for the prosecution not to supply evidence of subject matter jurisdiction prior to the plea being entered?
No, it's not.
So it's presumed. It's just presumption and assumption, absent fact.
In accordance with an act of Parliament.
Okay, so the law applies because the law says so. That's a circular argument. I like facts and evidence. That's what I go by.
Facts and evidence.
Yeah, I know courts don't like facts and evidence, and they work on presumption and assumption.
I've been in the courts for just almost 15 years.
Congratulations, but at the end of the day...
I just got the experience and things like that.
Okay.
Okay.
So can you explain to me where the prosecution has derived subject matter jurisdiction in regards to this matter from?
Okay. Transport Act. I presume this is laid under the Transport Act because it's a
what states that law applies
well, I don't know,
to me?
This is your file. I mean, you've obviously got stuff here. Have you had disclosure from the...
I asked 4 times for a summary of facts, and I was handed it to me today. Yeah. I've been asking for 4 months and 4 separate occasions for that, and they hand it to me today.
Okay.
That's a piece of process.
Well, not.
Yes, really. I'm supposed to be given that evidence prior to be able to defend myself, surely? Can you add new stuff straight away?
My question for you, Mark, now that you have received a copy of the summary of alleged facts...
This summary of facts, not alleged. No, I haven't read it. I don't understand a word of it. I haven't had it explained to me. I don't know what section whatever means.
Yeah, well, what I'm simply telling you is this. You have answered your summons to come to court.
No, that offer, I came here because my name was on a bit of paper and it said to come here on this time and date. Then I come here seeking to be informed of the nature and cause of the proceedings and to be fully informed to make a voluntary plea.
Yeah.
That wasn't
well,
done.
well, we were just stop talking over the top of me all the time.
Well, I'm responding to you.
Well, not very well, but look.
That's your opinion.
Yes,
it's going to be right.
I mean, do you, with the information that you've now received, need further time to consider your position?
I would like to deal with this today. I'd like to end it so I don't have to keep wasting time and money coming back here time after time. And if the prosecution after 5 months can't get their ducks in a row and even supply documents that are supposed to be correct, then that should be withdrawn, dismissed with extreme prejudice.
Well, it doesn't happen that way.
Why doesn't it?
You now have...
They have the burden.
You have a summary of... And they are still alleged facts because you haven't... At the moment, your status in court is that of a defendant in court to answer an allegation.
Mm-hmm.
And answer an allegation.
I don't have to say a word, do I?
Well...
I don't have to answer or say a word. I don't have to testify against myself, surely? Right, then I don't have to answer anything. I'm there to ask questions. I'm there to be fully informed and to find out the nature and cause. And the judge was unable to explain to me the nature and cause because she found an error in the actual infringement notice where it wasn't correct. I didn't even know about that until she pointed it out. Thanks very much.
Well, I would have, having received the summons, which sets out what you are supposed to have done, I would have thought that would have given you sufficient information to answer.
That would be on my presumption only, wouldn't it? I'm not going to assume or presume anything. I'm going to ask questions until I fully understand it, correct? As far as what I've asked the court for, sorry, it might be in this one here, I have 4 different letters. In that one. I have 4 different letters over the time period since July that I have sent to the police. That was handed to me today by the prosecution, and I don't understand a word of this.
Well, can I read it to you?
Oh, of course you can. It doesn't mean I'm going to understand a word of it.
Well, it's simple.
I still need to know how that applies to me.
Because they say that you were...
Because they say so, without evidence.
Well, you haven't heard the evidence yet, have you?
Is it not prosecutorial? I just want to ask you, before you, just one question. Is it not possible prosecutorial misconduct for the prosecution not to supply evidence of subject matter jurisdiction prior to a plea being entered?
No.
Really? Well, I have the Waikato Law Society and an email from them stating from a senior lawyer that it is possible, Waikato Community Law Centre.
Oh.
I sought legal advice from them and they stated that it is possible prosecutorial misconduct for the prosecution. Whether you think or not, that's an opinion. I'm asking facts here. Is it prosecutorial misconduct for them not to establish subject matter jurisdiction? If I was a a serving,
That's
if I
why-
was a serving,
Mark, that's
serving
why-
man in the military
that
or a
is-
political, or
No, that's why you're here today, for them to establish the charge against you.
no, to establish jurisdiction, subject matter jurisdiction, and personal jurisdiction.
You are subject to the laws of New Zealand.
What evidence do you have of that?
Well, I presume you've got a passport, do you?
No.
Okay, all right, well, I
I have a
don't...
birth certificate, but I had nothing to do with it. That was something Mum and Dad signed up with the government. And they tell me my date of birth was a certain time, but I wasn't there. I can't verify that. I mean, I was there at the time, but I lacked the ability to remember. So that's third-hand information, isn't it?
Is simply that you were, on the 22nd of April earlier this year, were the registered owner of a wagon.
Oh, so being a registered
It
owner?
was checked by an approved speed camera, and you were doing 94k.
Do you see me?
Well, you've got to prove you were not.
I don't have to prove anything.
All right.
The prosecution has to provide evidence. I don't have to prove jack. It's for them. 94 what?
Oh, well.
94, no, looking at this, not looking at that, looking at this, 94 what? Seconds per hour? Minutes per hour? What?
Well, I would assume that.
Because that's an evidence. I can show you 5 other photos of me doing 61, 6,151. I've got many photos of this exact photo with me doing various speeds. So how does he verify that's 94? 94 what?
It is simply taken electronically.
Okay. And the electronic thing here, let's have a look at the certificate of accuracy, shall we? Certificate of accuracy. Now, I've got a question here too. Keith, is that his QID number? Oh, that'd be a question for him, wouldn't it?
That's a QID number.
Yeah, is that him?
Every person has.
Every
Like
police employee has.
Everyone's got a PRN number. Even I've got one.
Okay. Police record number or profile number?
No, it's personal record number. We've all got one.
So how come his QID number there's changed from that?
I have no idea. I haven't seen these documents.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm asking you.
Okay, well, they're questions you can put to the office.
I've got the questions in list ready for him. So this point register here, it says here the device has a measurement of uncertainty of +1 or minus. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So it could be 90. It could have been 93, or it could have been 95. Is that right? So you would accept 33% as beyond reasonable doubt, would you?
Well, all they have to prove is you were doing more than, was it 80k?
No.
Isn't that
The allegation is that I was doing 94.
I think that I've got that mixed up. I was reading that.
The allegation that I was exceeding the speed limit.
I haven't seen any of the disclosure, and apart from stuff that you have shown me.
Well, this is what I've had for disclosure. This is what I got sent after asking for 4 months. They sent me that, which has no mention of me whatsoever in it. They sent me that to show me he's a clever boy and got a certificate. They sent me that to show that somebody is, or obviously it had to be an accurate thing, otherwise you wouldn't be allowed to use it now, would you? And they showed me this here certificate, which says to me that if it's got a probability of being 1k up or lower than the actual measured speed, then that fails beyond reasonable doubt. Because if you and 2 other people sit in the room and I say, mate, it's beyond a reasonable doubt, you're going to win lotto, would you believe me? No. Yeah, exactly. Do you get my point I'm trying to make here? They have to, under the criminal standard, they must prove every element beyond a reasonable doubt. Is that correct?
In a criminal, yes, that is.
And this is a criminal proceedings, therefore bound by criminal standards. So beyond a reasonable doubt, given that there's a 1 kilometre difference up or down, would you accept 33% as beyond reasonable doubt to be accurate?
What was the speed limit in the area?
Well, they're saying, according to that charging document there, that it was, a few motions there, saying according to the charging document, yeah, here it is. Well, here's the actual, that's the first thing there I got, and it says there, a temporary speed zone. I've seen no evidence of a temporary
Well,
speed
they've got to
zone.
prove all that.
Yeah,
Now,
so-
you're simply charged of doing in excess of 80. So
Okay.
it would be an offence to be doing 81, 82, 83.
Well, they have a threshold from 80 right onwards.
Well, whatever it is, but that's, the allegation simply is that in a particular speed zone, you were doing more than the approved rate, and that was...
Yeah, I was travelling, you know, accessing the common way with my motor car.
All right, okay.
this whole motor vehicle thing, I mean, any vehicle under 3.5 tonne is considered a private motor car and not commercial use. And I'm not operating in commerce for them to say that I was driving or using or operating anything.
Well, the allegation is that a vehicle...
What do you mean by vehicle?
Your vehicle. Well, a motor car, a truck, a line haulage truck, anything
the Land
like
Transport Act states quite clearly what a heavy vehicle is.
So all the allegation is saying that.
And under what section does the allegation say?
Yeah, that's what we'll find out. That the particular vehicle in this exceeded the speed limit of 80k, and you are presumably in court. And I haven't seen any evidence of this because you're the registered owner of it.
I'm one of the registered owners
No,
of it.
well, I don't.
Well, my person is, put it that way.
Yeah. That's why you're in court.
Occasionally I do have to use it for business, you know. It doesn't have to be registered as a vehicle when I'm using it for business. So
That's
fair enough.
all evidence that you could give if they decide to go.
It's for the prosecution to supply the evidence.
Well, it seems that you've got plenty of power, haven't you?
How do you mean?
Well, you've got all...
So do you think there's an error with this?
There is an error in respect of the... it is deficient in respect of the section under the Act. That appears to me to be the only deficiency of it.
Other
And
than
when
the
that
fact
is
that they
pointed-
have no first-hand witness can verify that I was there at the time.
It's the vehicle that is travelling.
Oh, so they're going to ticket the vehicle. So is the vehicle going to go and earn money and pay for it, or are they ticketing me?
You are ticketed because you're down as the registered owner.
One of the registered owners.
Well, who are the others?
Well, my wife's also a registered owner. She's a joint owner of the vehicle.
Well, they could probably drop it against her and take it against her. You know, probably wouldn't want that.
Well, I don't care if they do. I mean, she's handicapped. If they want to drag someone in a wheelchair up here, they're more than welcome to. And it would be interesting to show them, for someone to verify that she was operating the vehicle at that time too, wouldn't it? Because there's no first-hand witness stating that I was even there. And I'm not going to say I was. So it's for the prosecution to supply evidence of that. Would that be right?
It's the evidence to prove their case. They've made an allegation.
Every element.
They have made an allegation against you. It's up to them to prove it to the requirement.
Is jurisdiction an element of the crime?
No, it's not jurisdiction.
Is jurisdiction an element
I'm
of
sorry,
the crime?
it's not the jurisdiction of it at all.
I'm asking, is jurisdiction an element of the allegation?
I wouldn't have thought so, no.
So even though you've got no authority over someone else, you can just say, look, you did this wrong, you've got to pay me money.
That's not how it works, that's a bit...
Well, exactly. So surely I must have some contract or jurisdiction or agreement between me to abide by these rules in the first place. You might argue, well, shit, there's a driver's license number there. How did he acquire that? How did he get my birthday? How did he get my details? I didn't give it to him. So did he fabricate that evidence?
No, they haven't, because I would expect that those facts
On
those
record?
allegations are probably correct, according to...
According to who?
According to the records of the Transport Department, New Zealand Police, all that
And
sort
who
of
can verify that?
Well, if you wanted to take it that far, I presume they would bring people up which...
That physically saw me sign a piece of paper?
No. That's stretching credibility a wee bit.
Well,
You
listen,
are in court
if I'm
now.
getting claimed against something, I'm going to ask for every shred of evidence, and I'm going to make them work for their $30 court costs and their $80 ticket. And right now, keeping Keith, the operator, in court for the day means he's not earning $7,000 a day on the side of the road per hour ticketing people, which is exactly what he did that day. $108 per minute. $22,800 minimum he earned at $30 ticket cost, $762 premises. Oh, okay, well here, I'll clear up the clue for you. There it is, 6,044 vehicles, that equals 28 cars per minute, that equals 3 cars per minute he was issuing infringements for, which is $108 per minute at $30 ticket costs, minimum. So that's how much they earn, $22,800. Do you know how much New Zealand, do you know how much went into the Government Consolidation Fund last year for speeding infringements? 80 million.
Well, it helps pay.
It doesn't help pay either. It goes in, no, it does not. It goes to the Government Consolidation Fund, which is a slush fund for the politicians.
It seems to me it seems to me that the number of, this probably relates to the device being used. but it's checked 6,000 odd vehicles. Of those...
So that's the infringement start number, that's the infringement end number, and between that and that equals 762.
Yeah, that's the number of alleged offences.
But that's the number of tickets they're going to be getting paid for.
Well, I don't...
Because most people will just pay.
I don't know that. I don't know.
Well, you wouldn't just pay a $30 ticket? Instead
I
of,
would.
yeah, exactly, you would. See, I don't care if it's for 1 cent. I'm going to be here every time they do this to me, and I'm going to chew up the legal system as much as I can, and I'm going to enjoy it because I have no fear of these pricks in here, these criminals, killers and things that like to use legal presumption and assumption to assert authority that they have none in the first place. I haven't consented to be governed. There's no evidence of that. I've given the registry of electors conditional acceptance. I'm happy to enrol. They say Section 82 of the Electoral Act. By God. You know, you'll get a $100 fine if you're not registered on the electoral roll, but they won't prosecute anyone. So prosecuted for none. 2011, 205,153 people weren't registered. How many of those did they prosecute?
I'm not the
Zero.
I'm not the source, Mark. I'm not interested in that sort of thing.
I don't care if you're interested. I'm giving you information as well. Whether you wish to take it in or not, it's completely up to you.
Yeah, well, it's not of any great interest to me.
Well, of course not. Of course not. It's all money. It's all money. And you're getting paid either way. Correct. You get paid being amicus curiae by somebody.
Yes, I get paid by you.
So the judge is getting paid by who?
The judge gets paid by the Justice Department.
Okay. And who's the defendant?
You are.
No, I mean who's the prosecution? Ministry of Justice.
No,
So the judge works for the defendant.
I
Is there
would-
another conflict of interest there?
No. I think you'll be prosecuted by the police.
Which is an arm or a branch of the government, the Ministry of Justice.
It's not part of the Ministry of Justice.
It's
But it
because
is-
they're a
it is-
non-governmental organisation, they have that arm's length to do whatever they like. Is that correct?
Well, no, they've got to abide by the law and they've got to follow it. And it's
Well, they haven't followed it, have they? The Criminal Procedure Act states that they should be putting that on the charging document. But it isn't, is
Just
it?
hang on a minute.
Yeah, I've only just seen this today. I don't even know what it does. I haven't had a chance to research it, get legal advice or anything.
Okay, well look, here's the next step that you've got to, if you have very belatedly and quite wrongly received disclosure at the last moment, that is wrong.
So it'd be used to court process.
You can be, well no, it's not really, but it's an oversight and it's something that should have been attended to a long time ago.
Well, according to the prosecution, that's just the way it is.
Just stop talking over me all the time.
Sure.
I am simply saying to you, there is the details. It should have been on the summons you got, but there's the details. Now, what you can do, Mark, if you want to, is say, I have today, and I can say this on your behalf, it was only today that I got a summary of facts that actually detailed what my alleged offending was. I need more time.
I don't want more time. I don't want to be
Okay,
conscripted
well,
to come back. I want to deal with this matter now, and if the court or the prosecution cannot supply evidence of subject matter jurisdiction, personal jurisdiction,
Well,
or supply me, I gave you the decency to the finish, and cannot supply me the nature and give me a fully informed nature and cause of these proceedings, that's words on a bit of paper. It means nothing to me. It's written in a completely different language.
That's why I
And
say...
where does that apply to
Under
me?
Land Council. Everyone is subject to
That-
the
no,
law of New Zealand.
No, that is
Everyone.
incorrect. Incorrect. Is the military office subject to the laws of New Zealand? Is
Yes. Yes, they are.
is a politician? Is someone with immunity from? Really?
Yes, they are. Everyone is subject to the law in its various guises and things like that. Everyone is subject to it.
What evidence is there of that? I've got an email from a lawyer that's telling me that the government derives its authority over the people through force and coercion because the state is the state and it can do it. I thought we live in a voluntary society.
No, we don't.
Oh, don't we? So it's what is it then? Are we all just tax slaves? Well, if it's not voluntary, it's involuntary, isn't
We
it?
belong to a society that...
Who's we?
You
I don't. I'm on earth as a man. Okay, I'm not in a country. I'm on
Are you
earth.
working? Are you working?
I work every day, just as I live every day.
Are you on a benefit or anything like that?
Oh, my person collects a benefit, but that's because of the SSTQV that Mum and Dad set up. They're allowed to. SSTQ trust is there for my benefit.
I'm not going to give you the
I'm the beneficiary of SSTQ trust.
Yeah,
Am I not allowed to?
and I help pay that benefit.
Yeah, so do
And I don't mind.
And I was a
I
tech
don't
coach.
mind.
I don't care. I don't care if you mind or not. You're forced to, just as I am to pay it. You freely give up your taxes. So it's great. I mean, it's like if you fluffy handcuffs, I hope you enjoy them. You know, if you want to be in bondage all your life and happily give a portion of your sweat equity to someone else without evidence of it, go right ahead. I'm not. I've spent too long, 5 years studying legalese, legislation, law, all over the world, to put up with this bullshit. Now, they haven't provided evidence of subject matter jurisdiction. You're saying it's presumed the laws apply because the laws apply. Circular argument. I'd like some evidence of that, please.
You are charged with...
So you can't give me any evidence. That's a no.
Well, you've got the choice in a few moments of either... You want to challenge them. Okay, you've got a defendant here. Get them to prove it against you.
You see, you're trying to constrict me into having that plea. Plea or not guilty. Can I plead innocent? Because that's what I am. I'm presumed innocent.
It's either guilty or not guilty.
What about no contest? Is that an option?
That's not an option.
Oh.
When you come before the court on a charge, you either accept the charge or you don't accept the charge. You're not accepting the charge. You will need to put them to the proof.
Well, as far as I know, I'm not guilty of anything, and I'm innocent of everything unless they can provide evidence. But as far as them not getting their paperwork correctly, it should be dismissed straight away. That's an abusive process.
It seems to me that you, albeit very belatedly, Mark,
Meaning?
got the information that you were seeking.
Oh, yes.
Because
Today.
you got it today, and that's not right. It should have happened a long time before. But you've got details of the section and the act and all that. The body of the court, the body of the charge is simply that a vehicle was checked on the motorway doing whatever.
That registration plate was. Yeah.
Yeah, which is attached to a vehicle, and the vehicle...
They can have it back any time. I'll still drive my car around.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'll get another sign.
That's fine.
I mean, it's a bit...
I'll wait until I get a scrap car and then I'll have some fun with it.
All right.
You see, I don't have any fear. All these people walk around in fear of getting in trouble.
I don't.
Really? So you're not in fear of getting done for prosecutorial misconduct or doing anything against your rules or codes?
It doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Is that because you're exempt or because of the Conveyances Lawyers Act 2007 and you're going to hide behind that? Because I'm trying to get lawyers.
I don't hide behind anything. That's why I don't have a problem with that.
That's good. That's good. I can appreciate that.
I lead a very happy existence.
I can appreciate that.
And all of it.
That's good.
Let's go on.
Well, yeah, no, I'll be representing myself. I don't need you. I don't need you to speak.
I've only just been asked to come in.
Yeah. No. Well, apparently the judge needed some legal advice, but I failed to see why you're doing it.
No.
Yeah, but she said that the amicus curiae was being called to the court to help her.
Yes, that's right.
Not me.
I advise her. Yes.
Yeah, but you're not there to help me, eh?
I'm there to
But your duty is first to hurt. Exactly. So therefore, you can't be playing for both sides now, can you? 11. These poor depressed people walking around here worried. Yeah, well, if there's no harm, loss or injury, there's no crime, is there? Would that be correct? No harm, loss, injury, no crime? Alright, so if there's no corpus delicti, so what corpus delicti do these guys have? They got an injured party? No, 11. Do they have an injured party? Damages anywhere?
Depends what they've been in.
A speeding ticket, I didn't think there was. Where are we? Should be level 2. Level 3 we're on. No, it's level 3.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Sorry, too busy yakking. That's fine. They said 2:15, so we've got a moment. Yeah, I just always wondered that. Who's the injured party in a speeding ticket?
Breach of a transport regulation.
So it's a breach of a rule.
Yeah,
It's not law, is it? It's a rule. It's a legislative rule of society giving force of law of consent.
It's put in place for the safety of the public.
Oh, okay. So out of the 762 people he gave a ticket to, how many did he stop speeding?
I wouldn't have a clue.
The answer's none.
It could be all sorts.
He didn't stop any of those cars speeding that day.
Could be registrations, it could be warrants of fitness.
Oh, yeah, it's all revenue. You got it. Yeah, it's all revenue. It's all revenue collection. That's what the Crown boasts itself about. We've got the police budgets for the last 14, 15 years. 48 million they made 99. Now it's up to 80, 86 they hope to get this year.
I quite like policemen because they...
I've got no problems with policemen, mate, so long as they uphold their oaths and stop enforcing statutory law. If they want to uphold their oath and make sure there's no breach of the peace anywhere, then that's good. But if they want to start being policy enforcement officers, then now we've got an issue. You understand what I'm saying, don't you, Robert? There you go, Roger. Thank you. But the judge is very nice. 11 down the hallway, up the end. She's a lovely lady.
Yeah, she is. She's actually a pretty decent person.
Far better than Tim.
Are we along here?
Judge Tim Black. He should have stayed in Dunedin as the mayor and not bothered himself instead of coming up to New Plymouth and getting his warrant.
Sure it wasn't Judge Charles Blackie, was it? Blackie?
No, it's Judge Tim Black. There's photos. Like I say, go on YouTube. You'll see they surrounded me. They took all my cameras off me, but they missed a couple. Bit of a shame, really. Bill of Rights Act Section 14 gives me the right to record, receive and impart and seek information, opinions of any kind in any form, including recording them. Doesn't it?
Well,
This is a public courtroom, yeah?
are we here?
This is a public courtroom? Yeah. So I'm allowed to record in a public place then? Sorry? Yes or no?
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure? It's a public place, I should be allowed to record, yeah?
Now, I have, for all sorts of very good or wrong reasons, I don't know, looking after...
He's been trying to give me some advice.
Yeah, okay.
Good luck to that one.
You've got the original I gave you back. Do you need
Oh,
this?
yes. No, that you can keep that. There's a copy of that and a few other things for you.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
You opposed?
Nope. Nothing. I mean, I've asked you guys, there's a copy. Yeah. 4 separate letters I've sent you guys over 5 months asking for all of the stuff you're asking me if I've got, and guess what? I haven't.
I've seen that too.
Oh, great. Oh yeah, the 8th of May one, that was to the police, but there's 3 there to the prosecution, so they got no response from until late October.
How did you send them? By post or by email?
By email to the email that it states on the bit of paper here to reply to. Auckland PPS, yeah, right there, see? That email address right there, and I got no response until I found another email address, which actually did work and I started getting responses from.
Do you know what that secondary email address was?
Oh, I think it's got, it was worded slightly differently from PPS Auckland.
We've got a few.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, but I mean, if it's got that one here listed there and I get no response from it, what am I supposed to do?
It's someone in Wellington's written that, haven't they? You know what I mean?
You work for the police. Police have sent me this, telling me to respond to that, and you guys don't reply. What am I supposed to do?
So what I'm saying is if someone gives you the wrong address.
So this is wrong.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It could be.
If someone gave me the wrong, don't put it on there if it's the wrong address.
Put it on there.
Well, see that someone in your club does. I mean, I've got full respect for police when they uphold their oath. Make sure there's no breach of the peace, but if you want to start enforcing crap,
There's also
again.
reasonable and there's human error.
Oh, of course, you know, we're all men and women. I don't know about humans. I'm not in any race. I'm not a colour of man. I am a man. I might have persons to represent as. I mean, I suggest you just dismiss it, withdraw the charges and be done with it. Because I'm more than happy just to keep coming back year after year with this one until you guys supply evidence.
So why would you put it off with the evidence you provided?
Well, you can't even inform me of the nature and cause of the proceedings, though, can you?
What do you mean the nature of the proceeding?
What law or where have I signed something stating that those laws apply to me? Really? So the laws apply because the laws apply?
Yes, to everybody.
Circular logic, no evidence.
Everybody in New Zealand.
I'm on New Zealand, buddy. I'm not in it. Do you understand the difference between being on and in something? Do you? You're on the ground. Are you in it? It's not semantics. It's words, and it's how you guys operate with wordplay, legalese.
The legislation applies to all persons.
Legislation has the force and effect given
Whether you
consent.
like it or not.
No.
That is the
Do you
legislation.
have evidence I'm registered as an electoral voter or that my person is?
Whether you vote or speak, is it?
I don't care if I vote. I'm talking about whether or not that person's registered on the roll.
Were you born? You don't have to.
I don't know where I was born, mate. I was busy being born at the time. I don't recall. I don't even know my date of
You're on
birth.
the roll with us, right?
Really?
Section 133 of the Land Transport Act,
Meaning,
meaning you are the registered owner of the motor vehicle.
one of them,
Yeah, you are the registered owner of the motor vehicle.
my person is.
Yeah, okay, so is yours in capitals or you the real person or the...
Define who you is. I
Yeah,
am a man. I have property
Yeah.
that is registered possibly as a vehicle when I need to use it.
yeah, okay, but so you're for the purposes
It's still my property in a motor car.
Yeah, it's,
I don't know what that is.
purposes, this is your name here and you are the registered owner of that motor vehicle.
I wouldn't have a clue. I've never seen that before in my life. I'd have to look at it more closely.
Well, that's your name here, isn't it? And your address. and everything.
Well, that's the person's name.
Yeah, the person's name, and that person is you.
I don't know. I'm not going to identify as you, am I?
But anyway,
Nice try. Well done. Good job.
Section 133 of the Land Transport Act says the registered owner of the motor vehicle...
Okay, and where does the Section 113 Land Transport Act apply to me?
You're the regis-
What
you're-
evidence do you have of jurisdiction
Oh,
on?
that's the person. Oh, that's where you the one's removed person, is it?
Pardon? Do you not know how society works, mate? You're all represented through personas, through masks, or are you a person and not a man? Oh, there you go then. You guys really need to get your ducks in order first before you start making allegations you can't prove. So you're going to fix the other infringement notices you've got out there at the moment? Make sure you get your paperwork correctly and put the sections on from now on?
Everybody else is paying them because they're accepted. Everybody else is paying them because they're accepted. Everybody else is paying them because they're accepted.
Oh, yeah, because they're fools, mate. They just pay. They accept the force and coercion of the state, don't they? Yeah, apparently so. Pay up or we'll lock you up. Is that right? Yeah.
They get locked up for infringement as well.
Really?
Infringement, no conviction, merely a fine.
It's merely taking something of mine that you don't have a right to.
People have the right to not.
Sorry, did I crash into somebody? So am I responsible for everybody else on the road? Is not every case individually dealt with by its merits?
Be responsible for your own.
For my own speed? Who says I was speeding? Who says I was even there that day? Have you got a photograph or a witness stating I was there? Do you have a witness stating that I was actually there at the time? I haven't got a witness list, that's why I'm asking.
You have got a witness list. The person.
I don't have one. Where have I been supplied a witness list? I've asked for a witness list 4 times, you have not supplied
Have you
one.
been provided a name of the person and evidence you're about to give today?
I've been provided a brief of evidence by a police employee.
Which is a witness, isn't it?
I don't know. It's not listed as a witness. I haven't got a witness list. Perhaps you should do your job properly and respond to emails that are given to you asking for these information. Can you stop hovering around me, Grant? Your jingling's getting on my nose. I know you do, mate, but I mean, if you want, I'm happy to pull out a camera and do an interview with you afterwards if you like. You want to go up on the record? You're famous. A lot of my people, if you've read the comments that some people say about you, not nice. I stick up for you. I tell them you're not a brown coat, mate, that you're just following orders and don't know any better, that you're a really decent guy. You know? That they shouldn't knock you. We're all men and women, aren't we? You've got a job to do. Criminals have jobs too. All that money the camera guy could have been earning today. It's a pity that, really. Think of that. 15 grand he could have been out there earning today, Roger.
Oh, no. No, I'm not going to. Whatever it's trouble with my life, who knows I do a lot of pro bono sort of work.
Yeah, can't complain. Sorry.
Just keep in touch with me, Mark.
Will do. Got your
And
card.
all of that. I'm on board and I'm here to, I know I'm to help the judge, but in order to help the judge, I need to, keep in touch. And if you've
Fair
got any
enough.
problems or anything like that.
Is your email on the card? Or
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. Just drop us something.
drop you a line of an evening?
Yeah.
No worries.
I'm happy to do it. I don't have any extra right on all this sort of thing.
Oh, good man.
I just want things to be done properly.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Follow the
Okay.
processes.
Right, yeah.
Have a good day, eh? Awesome. Thanks again, Roger.
Right, Mark.
Appreciate it.
Well done.
Have a good day. See ya.